Alrighty, man, Sharp Customs, we are rolling. This is going to probably be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're gonna finish it. That's all I'm gonna. I don't know how many parts it's gonna be. We're just doing this little short little thing. We thought we would try something different to give you kind of a behind the scenes, because let's face it, man, you guys out there in YouTube land, you don't get to see me work like hands-on very often. You get to see the kind of the final product and whatnot. And yeah, this is for that electric jet boat. And basically you saw in part 1, which I've already done, I've already uploaded. You're probably already watching it right now as I'm speaking. I'm still working on the ESC block plate that I am going to turn into a water cooling system for the ESC to sit on, because I find that ESC, the way it's cooled is, you know, it's to me it's the most important piece of the puzzle in the electric system. Now, when it comes to what was going on with the boat, I found out that 150 amp ESC 4S, 6S, 8S, that's what it likes. Okay, I was running a 3-cell battery. I think that was where the issue lied, and and in the video I did say I didn't bring my plugs to you know, run in series. So I need to try it straight up, straight on in 6S. But tonight, this little short, because it's going to be short. I know I always say that, man. The last one was short. It was only like 6 minutes, man. But, so what I'm doing, if the camera wants to come over, I'm putting a flange on each side of my isolator block that I'm going to make liquid cooled. And I can't wait for you to see that, but we're a little ways, you know, we're an hour away from that or so. So these flanges with the ESC, I tried the 2-way tape to stick it down where I wanted. So I'm creating the flanges in the aluminum block so that I can put a whole bunch of holes in here, so I got somewhere to fasten it down to my little piece of plywood. So we're working on the other side. Now this side, what I'm going to tell you is I plunge cut most of this, so that means that this head on here, I don't want to move it because it's set where I need it to be set. And so I just kind of like, yeah, making the noises for you. I plunge cut across it to get the majority of the material out, because, you know, let's face it, this little mini mill, it's slow, but you know what? It does the job. And I'm surprised that this head right now, this motor's hot. And I got to run this one, like I was saying in the last video, to have all my auto feeds. And this motor back here, it's like smoking hot. And like the camera girl always says, she says, you know, everything has its limits. She was supposed to say that in the video, and I was waiting, but I said,
everything has its breaking point.
Everything has its breaking point, but I push things to the limit, man.
You like to break stuff.
I love to hog material, especially on the lathe and the mill. And we're going to fire this up, and I'm going to show you, because we're working on the second side here, the flange, and we're not even halfway there. We're going to fire it up. It's going to be loud, and I'm going to try and talk over it while it's going. Let's just do it, man. This is part 2 of who knows how many parts on a little aluminum cooling jacket for the speed controller. So let's fire it up. And I'm surprised at this thing. I got 1 gear. That's all I got. If you watch the video where I tried to repair this, I got 1 gear And inside this cover plate, well, actually this side's still open, you can't see in there. But I looked up in there, and I don't even know how this thing is running. I really don't. Because the gears, they broke. So I don't even know how this is, it's running on one speed, and that's good enough for me. As long as it does the job. Fire up this. We're gonna, so, wait a minute. I'm gonna turn the stuff off because I got something to say. So, when you're cutting a piece of material, I'm gonna back this all the way up, because if I try and pull this cutter into this piece of material and go that way, the way that this spins, it's going to be walking against the material. And because I like to hog the material, it could, what I call, walk the walk, which means the cutter is, you know, it's forcing itself into the material this direction. And it could literally walk. I have all my, so I have a lock here, right here, and I got this table locked down pretty dang tight, okay? And then I've got another lock on the side so this lock is for this movement. I have an Allen key lock over here, which is for the forward and back motion of the table. And I've got it, I don't have it super tight, I have it snug, because if I do it too tight, then the auto feeds won't work. And if I try and cut that way into the cutter, sometimes what will happen is the cutter will start to dig into the material and it will force all of this back. And if it can't force all of this back, the cutter could literally break. So for this particular, the way I'm doing such a deep cut, I'm going one direction. You'll see it in a second. I'm going one direction, and then I'm feeding this back manually, because yeah, I don't want to walk the walk, because you know, I don't want to break it. Everything's set. Let's fire it up. Let's go. So now I've got the table, the bed. I've got it pretty tight, but I'm going to feed it in. I'm going to feed it in 100, maybe 150 thou. It's tight. It's super tight. Sometimes I actually got to take the wrench and I got to loosen this bolt here so that I can actually turn this, because it's so tight. So we're going to go in. We're going to go into about there. I'm going to say that's about 150 thou. I'm going to tighten that back up so it's good and secure. And then I'm going to hit the auto feed. And you're going to hear this thing working. And if you want to know how much material it's actually cutting, here. All I got to do is catch. Okay, we might not be at 150 thou, but we're definitely, look at the, so I look at the width of that. That's over 100 thou. So it's hogging it up, and you can hear it. Trust me, if I took 10 or 20 thou, this thing would just be cruising along. Yeah, it's trust me, it's pulling material out, lots. Most guys that own these type of machines, these little mini mill lathe combinations, they would not do that. They wouldn't do that, especially knowing that you have no idea what's going on inside this gear head. We don't really know what's going on inside there. All we know is we got one gear, and now this is going to stop my auto feed when it gets to the end, because it's at its limitation. Which, that's as far as I could push the vise. But it makes the full cut. So I'm going to turn the auto feed off. There you go, you can hear it just all release. I'm going to wind this back. Yeah, it's a little... Yeah, so I'm doing this side totally different than how I did this side. Like I say, this side I did a bunch of plunge cutting and then did a final cut to kind of clean it up. This one, I wanted to try just a different cut. Let's see how far we can take it. Oh, you see it just pushed forward? It just pushed forward as I was pushing the vise that way because this is loose. So we're going to go for another one. And we got a big cut there. We probably got, oh, let's see, let's check the chips. Oh yeah, we're probably pushing, you know, we're probably pushing, like I look at how wide that is, and we're probably approaching 200 thou cut there. But you can see everything. You can see this head is moving, you know, it's moving back and forth. But that's what I call hogging material. And that's the way I like to run this thing. I like to hog it. If this was a full-size mill, you know, this part, this actual piece, you would probably make it in an hour or so. This is going to take me, you know, I got to drill a bunch of holes. That's going to be very interesting to see. Because I came up with this idea in my head. I've seen where they just drill. I'll wait till this finishes. Maybe I'll wait till part 3. And I'll actually show you. We're not going to stay on the video for this whole cut. There's about another 250, 300 thou to take off with that flame. But like I say, we're going to do this in a bunch of parts. As soon as this finishes, I'll shut it off. There we go. You can hear how everything releases at the end of the cut. Yeah, you can hear how the motors, they're warm, man. That one, yeah, that one runs hot because I've modified my machine. The cooling cover for the fan here on the motor. Here, let me move the baby powder. Yeah, the cover's missing because it don't fit no more because I broke the belt on this, the original tooth belt. And what I did is I MacGyvered a V-belt drive system, and the pulleys are almost 1-to-1, so you could never thread on this machine and be accurate because I changed that, because getting parts for this old dog is virtually impossible. I mean, they're out there, you can find them on eBay and stuff, but anyhow, back to the project, man. Yeah, I got a little further to go with this. So the idea, let's see, what do I got here? So the idea is what most people do is they drill a hole into the plate, and then they drill another hole into the plate, and then they drill a hole this direction to this hole. So you end up with kind of a square loop. I know that sounds funny. A square loop like this, and you put a set screw with some sealant on it on this hole, and that becomes, and then a nipple and a nipple, and that becomes kind of the cooling jacket. I've got a whole different approach. I'm gonna drill not 2 holes. I'm gonna drill 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm not doing the cross drill. I've got another plan, and you're going to have to wait till part 3 to see what that plan is. And I'm hoping that that plan works out. I'm not going to put 6 nipples on this side and 6 nipples on this side and, you know, do the whole loopy thing. I've just got another plan, and you're going to have to come back and watch part 3 to see it, which probably will be shortly after this video. But there you go, man. Shark Customs part 2. Come back, watch some more. You know the routine, man. Peace. I'm out.